There is no place on Earth more secretive, more mysterious, and more protected than the infamous Area 51, which you see before you. Even though we really shouldn't be here, we're happy to risk getting caught. Why? Because you guys requested a tour, and we're here to please. Cast your eye out to the distance. See those nondescript buildings? For decades, we've been unequivocally banned from entering them. All we've been able to do is to speculate what lies behind this jagged barbed wire fence. Some say those buildings hold aliens or diabolical weapons, and others think it's all part of a government cover-up. Now, shift your gaze to those runways. When the dust settles, all we truly know is that the Nevadan Air Force Base is used as a flight testing facility. Today, we finally break the drought. With our exclusive entry credentials, we're about to step into Area 51 and get a first look at its inner secrets. Ready? Remember, photography is strictly prohibited. To get here, we drove 100 miles through scorching desert heat from Las Vegas. Now, we're about to walk inside the official perimeter via the base's back entrance, the North Gate. If you squint, you'll be able to see the closest town, Rachel, in the distance. It doesn't take a detective to spot the wild security measures on display at the entrance. Up above us are the remote-controlled cameras. To our left and our right is the electric barbed wire fence, and to scare us silly, the military has put up these terrifying signs. And this is just the first layer of security. The actual base is still hundreds of yards away, with invisible pressure sensors scattered throughout, ready to alert the guards if you take a wrong step. Oh, and don't even think about using a drone. Go ahead, sir. No photography, no nonsense. Okay, follow me. As you can see, there are always people coming and going. There's a 220,000 Humvee cruising past right now. And there is an unmarked white van trailing behind it. On the horizon, just behind the white van, that's Groom Lake. It's widely spoken of as a potential location for water weaponry and seaplane technology testing. Speaking of planes, as we keep strolling toward the buildings, tilt your heads up. That, folks, is what appears to be a local fighter jet running a training routine. Okay, we've arrived at the main entrance building. It's massive, right? So does anyone know how this mysterious place got its name? This map on the wall can tell us. According to the CIA, the name Area 51, ironically named Paradise Ranch, comes from a 70-year-old map designation. As you can see, the entire Nevadan desert test site was broken up into numbered subdivisions. But enough about the name. We want to see inside these forbidding buildings, don't we? Our first stop is an intriguing set of containers dubbed the Tempest Vaults. With unique construction materials and odd shapes, these are clearly no ordinary structures. These Tempest buildings are certified intelligence and cryptological vaults, which are capable of suppressing electromagnetic radiation. So whatever you do, don't touch anything. That's why they're off limits to most workers. There's no way you're getting in unless you can pass the fingerprint and retina scan. Let's move on. While Area 51 is shrouded in secrecy, we know that being an aircraft test facility is certainly part of the on-site operations. After all, it is officially administered by the Edwards Air Force Base. You know what that means? Yep, planes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hangar 18, one of the many active aircraft hangars on site. This hangar is for the big boys. It's the only one capable of housing giant aircraft with a wingspan of up to 235 feet. That's bigger than a commercial Boeing 747. As we look around, you'll see a few small fighters too. Against the back wall is the F-22 Raptor, accompanied by the F-35 Lightning II. That's one of many that was built as part of the $34 billion production contract with Lockheed Martin, each costing nearly $80 million. And under our nose is the next-generation F-15EX fighter jet. According to this information dossier, the secretive F-15EX has only just been announced in late 2020. And, wow, it's costing the Air Force $1.2 billion. Now, follow me to another hangar. This one houses Area 51's retired aircraft. That there, folks, is the $950,000 U-2 Dragon Lady, the very first secret aircraft to undergo development at Area 51 back in the 1950s. These days, it'd be worth $9.1 million. But when the Soviets developed high-altitude missiles, the US Air Force needed an upgrade. That upgrade came in the form of this plane, the $34 million lightning-quick SR-71 Blackbird, which had a top speed of 2,193 miles an hour. Behind that sits the old-school F-16 Fighting Falcon, and to its right, the F-117A Nighthawk stealth fighter. Just before we move toward the runways, take a peek inside our final hangar of the tour. Here, you'll see the unusual-looking Tacit Blue and the Star Trek-inspired Bird of Prey, which was the result of a $67 million project. Oh, and see that camo fighter? That's the Sukhoi Su-27 Flanker, a $30 million jet which the US swindled from the Soviets. Shift your attention toward the web of runways. The longest is the 25,300-foot runway 32L, which extends onto Groom Lake. Those buildings are the asphalt mixing facilities, which create the materials for new runway construction. We can't walk on the runway for obvious reasons, so we'll move toward the menacing burn pit. Make sure to take notice of the dormitories on the way, with the perfectly made beds and exquisite military symmetry. Before we enter the burn pit, I implore you to read this sign. This toxic waste burn pit is where the Air Force disposes of their chemical waste. For our own safety, we'll just gaze in through the window. Scary, isn't it? Adjacent, you'll find the enormous restricted 32-acre weapons armory, or in official terms, the munitions storage facility. What do you think could be hidden inside? Before we wrap up the tour, there's one more important room we need to visit. Unfortunately, we're not allowed in. Probably for our own good. Could this be where the aliens are hidden? Are spies held captive inside? Or is it the test site of biochemical warfare? We'll never know for sure. We'll just have to keep guessing. Whatever secrets are unfolding behind this door are funded under the government's highly classified black budget. After growing substantially since 1947, it reached $81.1 billion in 2019 alone. That cash goes toward classified intelligence activities spread across the CIA, NSA, military, and a mysterious other category, likely including whatever's going on behind this door. All the while, not even most Congress members were aware what was going on. Which secret location should we tour next? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Catch you next time.